What's up, guys? It's Jay with Prepared Citizens coming at you with another radio review of the legendary Baofeng AR-152. I like this radio so much. This one is actually an unopened one because I like it that much, having multiple backups. So if you catch them on sale, I recommend picking extras up, and that goes for any radio. For this radio in particular, there's going to be an affiliate link in the description. Appreciate it if you go pick one up using that link. So we're going to talk about the features that I really like and what makes this radio so great. Before we jump into all that, I want to disclaim my purpose for radios. This is the channel you're watching is called Prepared Citizens. This is not a ham radio channel. This is about keeping people prepared, whether it's everyday preparedness, prepared for natural disasters, whatever the case is. That's the kind of stuff we're focusing on. So, if you're looking for ham radio nerd reviews, I'm sorry, this isn't it. I'm going to be talking about reviewing radios in a way that I use the radios. That's in teams, doing Minuteman stuff, family communication, homestead type stuff. You're on one end of the farm, they're on another. If you're on a tractor, these things are great. If you're on a tractor, I don't know if you've ever tried to yell someone that's running a lawnmower or a flipping 100-horse John Deere tractor, but it's nearly impossible to get their attention. And cell phones aren't great. These are immediate, and you don't have to do no BS to communicate with who you're trying to communicate with. So that is the context of which I review radios. There may be features I don't talk about. It's because I don't use them. I'm never going to use them, and I don't care about them. I'm just going to tell you about what I use. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into the radio. The AR-152, I've had this radio maybe close to a year, and I really like it. I have it programmed just like my UV5R. This radio is kind of a UV5R in a much beefier body. It's a much more well protected UV5R. Here is a UV5R with an extended battery. You can see the size difference here. Okay, very, very different in size. Now, as always, you guys know me, you're going to realize real quick, I have a BNC adapter on my radio. Why? Because that's the best way to do this stuff. Now, I like using my signal stick because it is the best antenna for a handheld you're probably going to buy. I know people are going to argue with that. Guys, the radio came with this thing. It's a folding something. It looks military-ish. It's not all that great. I'm not crazy about that antenna compared to my signal stick. This is made in China by little hellions that probably are not thinking about radio antennas. They're probably thinking about how bad their fingers hurt. This antenna is made here in America. It's made in Utah by dudes that love radios and by dudes that are precisely measuring each antenna to make sure it's going to be perfectly efficient for what your needs are. In this case, this is a dual band antenna, just like my little stubby antenna here. These are made in Japan. And I sell both of these antennas on my website, preparedcitizenstg.com. But I like BNCing my radios because if I'm working close quarters with a team, if we're not going to be that far apart, I'm going to have this antenna on. And then if I'm trying to communicate with someone or just doing a regular property patrol, I'm going to have this one on. Now, I actually carry both of these antennas with me at all times. if you see one on the radio, rest assured the other one is in the bag. So BNC in your radio is very important. Speaking of which, where you BNC it is the same, it's got the same antenna out as a UV5R. It's called a SMA male. So the same BNC adapter that works for UV5R will also work for this. To be sure you get the right one for your UV5R, AR-152, or other radios I usually talk about here on the channel, just go to my website and pick one up, because that's the only one I sell. It's not confusing at all. I literally just sell this one. So if you got one of these radios, you're good to go. You can program this radio with Chirp. That's really convenient. If you use Chirp to program this radio, there is something very important you need to know. There is not a AR-152 listed. You're going to program this radio as BF-F8HP. Okay, that's what you're going to program this radio as. Channels. There's still only 127 channels on this. I was kind of hoping there would be more, but 127 works. Granted, for Minutemen stuff, you do not need that many. But if you're using it, someone like me, just doing the Minuteman stuff and using it for family communications when you go places, listening in on local repeaters, it's nice to have more channels, okay? But that's not a deal breaker. Biggest pro to this thing, period, for Minutemen operations is the battery. This battery is massive. For example, the extended battery on a UV5R is 3800 milliamp size. I don't know what that means. I just use it. I just know the bigger the number, the better. But speaking of which, 3800 for this extended battery, which lasts a pretty good while. This is a 12,000 milliamp battery. That's flipping awesome, is what that is. It locks in super solid. This thing does have a water resistant rating of IP57. It's really cool. This radio is recommended by no other than NC Scout, the writer of, or the author of Alabama, the author of the Gorilla Guide for the Baofeng radio. This is his top pick, his preferred radio of choice, because it is so wide open in what its capabilities are. It'll say the screen is really bright, and in direct sunlight it really don't wash out on you. So that's really cool if you're using this in really bright sunlight. I like the fact it's nothing fancy, nothing technologically advanced. It's just super simple, old school, and it works. But you notice the power/volume knobs and antenna is the opposite sides on these radios. Just think it's funny, it's kind of different. Anyway, this is a 10-watt handheld radio, which is really cool because you have a low, medium, and high power setting. Why would you want to change the power? Well, I'm glad you asked, because a low power setting will not throw your signal as far. Why would you want that? I want my radio to reach as far as possible. Well, if you're operating in a team within or behind enemy lines, you don't want that enemy to be able to pick your signal up. So you want to keep it as low profile as possible. Make sense? This radio comes unlocked. What does that mean? What does the unlocked radio mean? That means this thing will work on GMRS, ham channels, basically all the, it's a dual band radio, so it'll work in the UHF and VHF channels. At the bottom button below the push to talk is the light. The top one is the radio. You can listen to FM radio. A huge benefit to this radio over a lot of them, especially like a UV5R. I love my UV5R, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing it, but I will say this is a lot easier to use. Like, look at the button size. much, much easier to maneuver. One cool thing, this thing right now is in frequency mode. So there is no frequency / channel mode button. What you do is hold the menu button, hold it down. Then it goes to channel mode. That's how you swap it from channel to frequency mode. In case someone was wondering. I know when I first got this, that was something that I was like, whoa, where's the frequency and channel button? So that's how that works. I would say last but not least, if you have some speaker mics, accessories, helmet setups, whatever, that work with your UV5R, this has the same plug on the side, the Kenwood 2-pin plug that works with your speaker mics and stuff. Same as the UV5R. Another thing, if you have a UV5R extended battery, you know, the little power cable for it, it's really unique that goes with that. Well, as long as you got that power cable, it works with this as well. So it's going to be the same power cable for this as your UV5R extended battery. So, meaning, if you got these cables, you're good to go. And speaking of power, while we're on that subject, there is no charging dock for this thing, which I kind of like. It comes with a wall adapter that you just plug the battery into. You plug this into a wall, this plugs in to your battery. That's how you charge it. And guys, I think that about covers everything, the high points for me in this radio. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I 100% recommend this radio. It has been an awesome, outstanding radio for the money. Like, you really get a good, solid radio for the money. It's just super robust. It works really well. If you've got the UV5R controls and functions down, you're good to go. This is going to be where it's at for you. You still can do all the little things you can do with the UV5R, the deal listening, the scanning, all that good stuff is still exactly the same. You just get a super robust package and a super, super, super big battery that's going to last a super long time. So, guys, if you're looking to do some Minuteman stuff, a good radio just to leave in the truck or something like that, this is a good one. If you don't have like a mobile unit, no, this isn't as good as a mobile, but it's got a good power range for a handheld, and it's got a lot of capability. And if you do have the BNC adapter, which I highly recommend, you can also pick up one of the car adapter antenna extensions that I sell. That's also made by Signal Stuff. Those are made in USA, and you can run your antenna to the top of your car. So that's a pretty cool option if that's something you're interested in. Perfectly capable with this radio. This has been one of the best radios I've used in the field. It's definitely one of my favorite. It's not something you feel like you're going to drop. If you're wearing gloves, you can use this very easily. I really like that. So, guys, if you're looking for a good military-ish solid handheld radio that works on GMRS and ham channels, pick one of these up. You won't be disappointed. Guys, if you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear your questions, your thoughts. What have you used? If you got one of these, what have you used it for, and do you like it? Watching, thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Guys, if you want to support the channel, go to Prepared Citizens TG. Pick up a medical kit or a pre-programmed Baofeng UV5R. Worth it. And guys, please don't forget to go to the partners page on the website. Pick up, I got Pew Pews from Bear Creek Arsenal. You've seen my testing, and there's going to be more testing. Those things are doing awesome. Mantis Dry Fire System, the nutrient survival food, that's what me and my family use. What else? AR-500 body armor, good stuff. few other things, guys. Go grab that stuff with those affiliate links. That'd be much appreciated. It lets me know that I'm telling you guys about them, so that'd be good. Alright, guys. Appreciate you watching. Remember to be an asset to everyone around you, not a liability. And I will see you on the next one. God bless.